Hello, and welcome back to those of you that are coming back. For those of you that are new, my name is Mike Maspero. I am a 43, almost 44-year-old man living in San Antonio, Texas, and this vlog is just a journey of my growth, looking back at a lot of different things and trying to figure things out about myself and see where I've been and where I'm going. So, last week was a good week for me. A lot of reflection. I'm still actually, I finished it this morning. For those of you that saw last week, this book, The Untethered Soul. I read the last pages of it this morning, started it last week, and to say that it was a good read would be an understatement. The ideas and thoughts that came across not only while reading the book, but the things that came to my mind as I was reading about my own personal life and my own journey and things that I had done and things that I hadn't done or hadn't been doing was very, very good for me. I got a lot of clarity in reading the book, a lot of new understandings about myself and the way that I look at life and the way that I look at the things that are happening within my life. A lot of the idea of living in the present. So, last week was Christmas. I totally forgot to say it last week. Merry Christmas to all of you that have watched. But that's a perfect time, right? To think about being in the present. You have your family there. You have your children there. You have your loved ones that are there. And a lot of times, I know myself specifically, I would get caught up in thinking about things that had happened and using those things to really make myself think I was who I was, when a lot of the things that had happened in the past and those past traumas that I had no bearing on the person that I was in that moment. Also, I would get really, really bad anxiety because in my head I would constantly be trying to figure out what was going to happen in the future, or how do I manifest these things, or not really manifest, but how do I control everything that's happening and moving forward. And one of the things that this book has told me taught me is that the only place that we can really live is in the present, right? Things are constantly bombarding us, whether it be people, places, things, emotions, thoughts. All of these things are constantly coming at us. They have no bearing on who we are or what the future is going to bring to us. Sure, the way that we handle those things is going to have an effect on the direction of the path that we're going, but ultimately 99% of the things that come into our lives are things that we can just let pass by. Kind of like when you're driving in a car and you see another car pass you, we don't pay 2 cents about it, right? These things just pass by and they continue on and we continue on our path. Most of the things that are happening within our life are going to be like that. They're going to be things that we're going to see, we're going to acknowledge, we're going to be aware of the way that we feel, and then just let it go so that way we can move forward. This was something that was, I wouldn't say hard, but it's something that I'm not used to, because as a lot of people do, we have this constant narrative that's going on in our mind about things that are happening, or what's going on, or how's this thing going, or what can I do. And the thing we have to realize about that narrative is that it's just that. It's just thoughts. It's just words. And the person who's making and formulating these words is us. So if we can take a step back and look at this narrative and be like, wow, this is really dramatic, or wow, this is a little over the top. Most of the time we're going to be able to just see it for what it is, and see it as that these are just thoughts that are unwarranted. These are thoughts that are trying to wrap their head around a situation to help build walls to protect our inner selves, when really this is stuff that we need to deal with in real time. We have to be present. We have to be there. We have to feel these things as they come, so that way we can deal with them and then let them pass like that car on the highway. I've been trying to do this. I mentioned this a little bit last week in the video. I've been trying to do it even more. Been trying to do it more with past traumas, right? The way that I was treated in other situations that have brought about feelings about myself that were untrue, that had no bearing on the person that I was. And I feel like I've done a pretty good job of trying to get rid of those things. Another thing that I'm trying to do is just live in the moment. Just be present. When I start to get those thoughts, when those things start to come into my mind and I'm starting to hear this narrative going on and the back and forth and the arguments, right? Those kind of things coming into my mind, I take a breath and take a step back and look at it for what it is and see that it's just that narrative. It's just thoughts that I'm coming up with to try and figure a situation out. But really, the thing that needs to be figured out is I need to be aware of the emotions that I'm feeling. I need to acknowledge those emotions, and then I need to let them pass, because most of the time they're not going to be worth any of my time. Another thing is that the realization of just how precious time is that most of the time we just wait, right? We wait for things to happen, or we wait to go do something. But by the time we say the thing that we need to say, or do the thing that we should be doing, or living the way that we should be living, it's ultimately too late, right? Time is just too precious for us to be sitting back and not doing anything about it. So a lot of times when we do sit back and we do wait, a lot of times it ends up being too late. So I'm trying to instill all these things that I'm learning into my everyday life, and I know that I'm not perfect, and none of us are, right? But trying to feel and trying to live with this new level of spirituality, trying to become higher within myself, right? Trying to lift myself. More positivity, definitely more positivity. There's being positive is something that a lot of my friends looked at me and they would laugh, right? My ex-girlfriend would roll her eyes and get annoyed because I would try and spin and make things positive no matter what. And when I started to fall into that darkness, right? The darkness of depression, the darkness of building the walls around my inner spirit, I lost that positivity. I lost that positive person that I was. And so now one of the things that I do is try and make sure that I'm shining my light. I'm spreading the love that I know that I'm here to spread. We're all here to shine a light. We're all here to spread our love. It's different for everybody, but I'm trying to do that as much as I possibly can, because there's not enough love, right? There's in my life, there's tons of love in the people that are around me, right? People show me love all the time, but it's showing myself love, right? Shining the light on myself. I shine the light to people all the time. It's being more positive for myself, and I think that's a big step in this journey that I'm taking, is that the realization that making other people happy is one thing. Anybody can do that. Right? Putting a smile on somebody's face, giving somebody a hug when they're down, those kind of things are always there. But the realization that we can do that for ourselves, right? We can do that for us. And it's hard. And like I said before, I'm still wrapping my head around this and trying to navigate how and what I'm going to do to be able to fully understand and fully do this for myself. But it's starting to feel better. I'm starting to feel better about learning more about myself, breaking down walls to be able to shine my light, not just on the world, but to shine it on myself, to allow myself to see the things that I haven't been able to see, things that other people have seen within me that they've tried to draw out, that because I was so limited, right? I limited myself so much because of these beliefs that I had in my head of who I was, that ultimately it cut things off, right? It hurt relationships. It kept things from moving forward, not just with other people, but within myself. So now that I'm seeing that, and again, I'm not perfect in any means. This is something that, I mean, heck, I just got done reading the book, right? Like literally today, I just got done reading the book, and I'm trying, and I think that's a big part of this whole growth idea and thing. That if anybody out there is struggling with this, is you have to try. You're not going to be perfect, right? The things that you're going to do are going to be messy. I know for myself that there's still times that I fall back. There's still things that trigger me that I see myself falling back into. But when you feel that, right? When you feel that those missteps, when you feel you're a little bit off track, stop, take a breath, and realize what it is that you're doing, because ultimately we just want to move forward and we want to be at peace. So keep that in mind. If you have not, I'm telling you right now, this is a great book, worth the read. I told you last week I am not a big reader. I would read a chapter a day, and I probably honestly could have read this book in 2 days, maybe 3. And I read very slow. I tend to go back and read things over again. As a matter of fact, I'll be honest with you, I got done with it today. I'm starting back at page 1 tomorrow, and going to read through it again, just to make sure that I didn't miss anything. But with that said, just if you're out there and you're trying, don't give up on yourself. If you're out there and you don't know how to start, pick something, anything. It could be the smallest of little things. Any win is a win. When we're trying to better ourselves, when we're trying to grow. If you lose, it's okay. Failure does not mean that you are a terrible person. Failure is just an opportunity to figure out another way to get better. I tell that to my classes all the time when we talk about setting goals and talk about making behavioral changes. And for once, I'm actually listening to my own advice, and I'm actually listening to the teachings that I give to other people. So think about all the advice that you've given to anybody throughout your life. Think about all the people that you've touched, and realize that help and that giant heart that you have inside of you is one that can change the world, whether you believe so or not. And changing the world could be putting a smile on one person's face. It could be putting a smile on your own face. It doesn't matter. Change your world in some way, shape, or form. And that's basically what I'm doing right now. And I am a work in progress, to say the least. There are days that are hard. There are days that you're going to fall back. There are days where you're going to see a memory or smell a smell or go past some place that you and somebody used to go to, and it's going to hurt. But just like all the rest of those emotions, we have to acknowledge that. We have to understand and be aware that we had that feeling, and then realize that if we want to continue to move forward, we just have to let it pass. And once we start getting into that mind frame, one foot starts to go in front of the other, and we start to move forward. So that's where I'm at. Slowly but surely, one foot is starting to get in front of the other. I am feeling a million times better about myself. I really feel like I am digging out of that dark place that I was, and I'm feeling that light. And not just the light from the people around me, but I'm feeling the light for myself. So that's about it. I do want to say that it is very humbling to me when I look on my page and I see that there are 11 people out there that have subscribed to this channel. And I know it's only 11 people, but to me, 11 people looking every week to see when I have stuff that comes out, 11 people that thought highly enough to hit the subscribe button and listen to these words and kind of follow me on this journey is extremely humbling. And I think each and every one of you that watch these videos, I think each and every one of you that has subscribed. I'm not doing this for any money. This is never going to be any kind of monetized channel or any of that other stuff that these YouTube kids do. This is about helping people, and this is about moving forward. So thank you, and Merry belated Christmas, and we won't be back till after the new year, so love on the ones that you've got. Hugs and kisses to all those people for you. Happy New Year. 2024 is going to be amazing for everybody, and I hope it is for me too. So I'll go ahead and leave it there. Thank you again for watching. Have a great week, and we'll see you again next Wednesday.